All right, everybody. Apologies for the late start, but Mitch has got a short presentation, so hopefully we'll be able to catch up with the time. The way this works, as soon as I find my timer on my cell phone, every speaker has 5 minutes from the point where I say, basically from the point that the next speaker ends. All of the slides are preloaded on my machine. If you have a live demo, the time it takes for you to set up your laptop actually takes away from your time. So the best part about lightning talks is if you don't like the one that's on right now, well, there'll be another one in 5 minutes. There's also audience participation. Everybody is actually scheduled for 4 minutes. And what each speaker has to do is, for that extra minute, if they need it, I will ask, call for time. And if you like what the speaker's doing, give a quick round of applause, say yay, woo, woo, and they'll get an extra minute. But if they don't get that, I will start counting down from 10, and I'm going to go like this. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And when I hit 5, that's your job to go. No, go. You can do that if the talk sucks. That's perfectly allowed. But countdown in the audience, go 5. Okay, hopefully you'll get into it a little bit more, but the audience is actually the buzzer when time goes. So we've got a bunch of really great talks slated for today. So without any further ado, let's get this kicked off. Give a huge round of applause for Mitch and Jimmy talking about the hardware hacking area. Time starts now.
Great. So this is going to be a fantastic lightning talk session. So I'm Mitch Altman, this is Jimmy Rogers, and we go all over the world setting up hardware hacking areas, teaching people how to solder and make cool things with electronics. We also set up areas like this every year at Congress, at camp, so that it's a community resource. Anyone who wants to come and make something, fix something, create something, work with others, learn something, they can come here. And it's not just electronics, it's anything you can make.
Yeah, and the hardware hacking area, if you've not been there, is one of the most active areas I've seen. Just even at 4 o'clock in the morning, people are taking things apart and soldering and doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Next slide, link.
Yeah. But yeah, we have a ton of workshops.
Yep. Shoot, sorry. There we go.
Pictures. So people actually have a lot of fun. It creates a temporary community, and it's all ages. Anyone can learn to do this stuff. It's very useful, and it's a lot of fun. Look at the smiles on these happy people soldering away. And even kids like 4 years old, it's no problem to learn this stuff. Another slide. There's lots of cool kits that we brought to teach people who have never soldered or made anything or even sewn a button in their life to complete successfully. These are just some projects. There's another slide with more projects. We've got games, we've got blinking lights, we've got noise makers, we've got Arduinos, we've got chargers, we've got all sorts of cool things. And we also have a lot of workshops planned. This is one I'm going to do today at 2 o'clock. For people who don't know Arduino, it's a computer chip platform that is designed for non-geeks to be able to use and learn within an hour and a half. So in a 3-hour workshop, we're going to go through all of this. Learn to solder, learn to use Arduino, learn to everything you need to know about electronics, and we'll use a TV Gone as an example because TV Gone is so simple and it's so useful to turn off TVs everywhere you go in public. My co-author for the book I'm writing on how to make cool things with microcontrollers for people who know nothing made this Geiger Counter Kit, and he'll be doing a workshop on that 3 times, today, tomorrow, the next day. Next, Nick. Jimmy.
I'll be doing a circuit bending workshop sometime tomorrow. The time will be on the wiki. Basically modifying toys and other electronic instruments, effects pedals, et cetera, to make them do other crazy things and additional sounds and
make noise.
Stuff. Yeah, pretty much.
So everyone's invited. You can all come and learn to make cool things. I also didn't have a slide here, but we also have a brain-computer interface workshop happening. We have a hacked knitting machine, which will be printing out all sorts of cool things, including mate cozies.
Yeah, the Rocket Badge folks are down there, so whenever you want to talk to them about some of the more advanced stuff, like getting the GCC installed on your computer, et cetera, stuff like that. It's all down there, and tons of stuff.
Yeah, and this is a picture from Noisebridge the last time I did the Arduino for Total Newbies workshop.
Oh, and we're also going to have some of those little rocket launchers. They're going to be moved down into the hardware hacking area. So there's like 140 USB rocket launchers that
Somebody
are busted.
donated.
Yeah, ThinkGeek donated here for people to hack on. So we'll have those down there as well, so people can come by and grab one.
Yeah, so come down and play. And next slide is our contact info. You can contact me or Jimmy anytime for any reason, including if you want to be talked into quitting your job so you can do something more useful.
1 minute. You guys are done? Okay.
And by the way, it's 20 euro cents for a Nick Farr head rub.
Wait. Pay me. Actually, Mitch, I did forget to mention one critical thing. Could I get you to come up and demonstrate something? What you're supposed to do, and yeah, the next speaker should be getting ready. We've got the general introduction and status update on the development of the Freedom Box, so take the podium, please. One critical thing I forgot to mention, since I don't know the timing of your slides, is to say slide with emphasis when I'm supposed to switch slides. So Mitch, demonstrate saying slide with emphasis.
Slide.
A little bit faster.
Slide.
A little bit less enthusiastic.
Slide.
Okay, a little bit faster, but without as much emphasis as the last time. A little bit louder.
Slide.
Okay, you've only got 2 more slides left, so let's make this one count.
Slide. 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 Thank you, Nick.
All right, thank you, Mitch. Alrighty. Also, my screw-ups do not take away from your time, so no need to worry about that. All right, I will get better at this eventually. So, without any further ado, you ready to go?
Yep.
All right, time starts now.
Yeah, thank you, Nick. I'd like to introduce you to the idea of the Freedom Box. I don't know if anybody's heard of the Freedom Box, but it's a social networking solution, actually. If you recall how in the days of email, we had internet relay chat and listserv. There were always multiple providers. And later on with instant messaging and ICQ, there was more lock-in down to fewer providers. And now, today, what do we have left? We have one provider, Facebook, another provider, Google. We have a serious situation of oligopolistic power. And the solution that we proposed from the Freedom Box Foundation, I should say James Vasil, to whom these ideas are to be attributed, the solution would be distributed social networking instead of everybody being on one social network. The general idea is to have user data on user hardware. In 2009, then, such hardware became popular. They're called plug computers. They use very little current, so a large number of users could have them on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and have all their data on the user hardware. The operating system would be a Debian, and there's at Debian.org, the best source of information is a mailing list, to which you can also see the archives if you don't want to subscribe right away on Debian.org, the mailing list for the Freedom Box. It's all actually a response of the Debian community and others, there are hundreds on the mailing list, to a challenge pronounced by a professor of law named Eben Moglen. He's famous for actually his work on pretty good privacy. But now he's taken up the idea of equipping a plug computer with Debian software to present a social networking challenge. It would be also based on PGP and a web of trust. There are questions now. Basically, it would be Jabber and XMPP. There's work going on to see if Jabber couldn't be developed for the web to serve beyond instant messaging. Monkey Sphere is a question. Buddy Cloud, which had a big event at the CCC event last summer, is also in the running, as is Privoxy. My own particular experience has been with PageKite, which is a service run from Iceland, which makes it easy to break through a router or break through a firewall. Where
2 minutes.
Subscribers might not be expected to be offering content. Internet service providers think of their subscribers as people who are supposed to consume, not produce. And PageKite makes it easy to break through that barrier. I have a couple of Dream Plugs with me, which is the hardware anticipated to be used. And at the smaller workshop, we'll do a demonstration this afternoon of how the Dream Plug can be set up using PageKite to get through and show what is now possible. The big remaining issues are certificates, how one Freedom Box can identify it to other Freedom Boxes, and of course the big issue of the user interface, because the idea is to make this so easy to use for the average consumer.
1 minute, extend time.
Yeah. The web interface. Establishing the web interface is the big challenge. The Freedom Box Foundation won some money from Kickstarter, but now we may have to be paying people to develop the web interface. It's such a huge challenge. So I'd be glad to take any questions to know what you're really interested in, if in the little time I have.
30 seconds.
Yeah?
What was the page thing you mentioned?
PageKite. P-A-G-E-K-I-T-E. It's like a
20
kite
seconds.
that shows where your page is located.
How much does it cost?
The Dream Plug costs $130. And JTAG is maybe another 10, and FedEx from California is $30.
All right, good job with that. It's always hard being one of the first people to present in the lightning talks. And so next we have how to enter a Linux PC with a manipulated USB device. Ready to go? Oh wow, he's on. Big round of applause for just being like, bam, right there.
Thank you. Thank you, Nick. I'm Max
Okay.
Engelsberger from Pforzheim University, and I'm very glad to be here today speaking in front of this wonderful audience. My topic is about how to enter Linux PC with a manipulated USB device. Slide, please, Nick.
Oh, and just a quick note. When I screw up like that, the speaker automatically gets another 15 seconds. So we'll reset his clock. Go for it.
This project is about a security vulnerability which was first discovered by Rafael Dominguez Vega from the MRW InfoSecurity Lab in UK, and this was first discovered in May 2011. So shortly after this, the vulnerability was closed, so this is definitely not a zero-day. Slide, please. On Linux, you have two ways to execute software. You can do this in user space, or you can do this in kernel space. If you execute programs in kernel space, you should really know what you do, because you can access any memory location you want. Slide, please. My target system is a PC running Linux with an unpatched kernel version 2.6.32, and the system has to be configured for dynamic loading of the kernel modules related to the Kayak USB audio interface. Slide, please. Here you can see the init module and the init function of the driver module, which shows in the highlighted line how the product name, which came from the USB device, and is be copied to the sound subsystem. As you can see, this is performed without a length check, so the memory which was allocated here is just 80 bytes, And if you copy more than or transmit more than 80 bytes from the device, this is no problem here. Slide, please. Here you can see a small hardware setup I have done based on an 8-bit microcontroller, and its GPIOs are directly connected to the USB. Slide, please. I'm using on the microcontroller a virtual USB stack from Objective Developments in Austria. And I have here the possibility to freely configure all the parameters like product ID, vendor ID, and of course my device name. Slide, please. So I plug in the device, and the USB subsystem recognizes, hey, there's a new device, loads the the kernel module related to the product ID, and reads the very long device name. In order to this, the kernel freezes and system stops. Slide, please. My constraints are you have to have physical access to the system, and you need unpatched kernel version. Slide, please. So my conclusions are don't use banned functions calls. Code review is always a good idea. And further work for this project could maybe be automated pen tests or educational purposes or scientific research. Slide, please. If you want to ask me a question or contribute to the system or just give feedback to me, please send me an email. Thank you very much.
Nice. All right, GNUnet for network neutrality. You ready to go?
So, hello.
Actually, real quickly, I just, so that I make sure, is this the updated deck that you sent me? Okay, perfect. So you're good? Okay, all right. And time starts now.
So hello everyone. It's a great pleasure for me to be here today. My name is Matthias Max, and I'm a member of the GNUnet project. I'm mainly working on the transport component of our peer-to-peer framework. And since we released our new version some weeks ago, I want to tell you about the latest developments and our vision about how we want to enforce network neutrality and censorship resistance with our framework. Slide, please. So basically, GNUnet is free software and is an extensible peer-to-peer framework which you can use to easily develop your vision of a new peer-to-peer application. Our idea we want to give you with GNUnet is connectivity everywhere without the possibility to limit your traffic or to censor your traffic. So if you want to exchange your information with your buddy, you should be able to do it anytime, anywhere, and with whoever you want. What does GNUnet do to realize this vision? So basically, GNUnet has more than one transport protocol we can provide you. So if you have an internet service provider which improves your internet connectivity with techniques like quality of service or traffic shaping, you can just switch to a different transport plugin that is perfectly perhaps giving you a better performance. So we provide you with a TCP, UDP, HTTP, and HTTPS. So if your connectivity is somehow limited, you can just switch the plugin. If you have one of these providers who protects you in your private network and uses techniques like network address translation, a proxy, or a filter, that's also no problem with GNUnet, because with GNUnet you have techniques like UPnP, various net reversal techniques, and we have also a client-only mode where you only use outbound connections. IPv6 is now, how old, I don't know, at least 10 years, but we have many of these internet service providers who still do not support IPv6. So if you have to access one of these fancy websites with IPv6 only hosting your latest government secrets, you should perhaps have a look at the GNUnet VPN application. The GNUnet VPN application is giving you address tunneling and protocol tunneling and protocol translation. So you get both 4/6 and 6/4, and 4/6 and 6/4 address translation in a peer-to-peer based approach. So you don't
2
need,
minutes.
so you don't need an external tunnel broker. Okay, so your ISP is old school. Okay, but what if you don't have any ISP? So with GNU-Net we support mesh networks. So we have an WLAN physical layer transport plugin. So if you have a little hacking session near the campfire, it's no problem. You and your buddies can connect on Wi-Fi physical layer directly. And if you use our mesh service, if one of your buddies still has internet access, we can route with the mesh service to the internet. So I'm currently working on a new mathematical approach to select always the best transport mechanism for you and to automatically assign the correct amount of bandwidth to all the peers you communicate with. And for this, I'm trying to find a mathematical approach.
1 minute, extend time.
Next one. So, thank you very much. It was really a huge audience. So you can find more information on our website. So visit GNU.org or just join us. So me and our group on Freenode in the channel GNU.Net, or just grab a beer with me today in the evening after the talk. And our latest version is out now. So visit our website, download it, and give it a try. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, Webmail with End-to-End Pgp Encryption. Okay. Visit to Brazil, hacker culture. Okay. All right, Jens? And so I'm going to start your time from, actually, take it at the podium. So I'll start your time pretty much when you get set up on the podium. And time starts because when you have to use setup, that takes away from your time, so as to be fair to everybody else who submitted slides in advance. So time starts now.
I'm working on it. So, my name is Jens, but it doesn't matter here. Earlier that month I was in Brazil because there was an event called culturadigital.br, and I wanted to see the Brazilian hackerspaces. So this is one of the bus which was crowdfunded not by Kickstarter, but another Brazilian crowdfunding platform that drove the hackers from Sao Paulo to Rio de Janeiro to go to that kind of event, which was happening at the Museum of Modern Art in Rio. Which happening in the Museum of Modern Art in Rio de Janeiro. This is an area which called the Arena, and there was like political people coming to that event, and then you got the discussion to debate with these people about open data, transparency, all these kinds of things. This is one of the reasons why I was also there. You can see there's a difference between culture in here and culture in there. Maybe they're being the same-minded people when it comes to hackerspaces, but Brazil have a culture inside of their society. You can see that already with the Samba thing, but it's also going into digital culture. This was the audience. The guy you see from the left is like the former culture minister from Brazil. He was very, very famous there. He got really, really good debates on the stage. I skipped that. This is the Museum of Modern Art, and it's really, really a nice event because they now are starting to get the idea building up hackerspaces. Rio de Janeiro not have yet a hackerspace, while I can say they just founding another one. This is one of the robots I've seen there, which is very impressive, and it tries to get the clash with the technology and the culture change in there and the actual society. This is like the entrance, so it was completely for free for the conference. It looks like that. They're recording all the talks and streaming them. And this is like the posters. Everyone can contribute. Hey, we're doing that event. How do you want to make our event looks like? So everyone was able to contribute a poster, and they publish all of these. This is like you can put little paper things, and it's flying in the air. It's very nice for kids. They have a maker board, and so everyone was like showing what's happening in their town. Brazil is really, really huge, so people had to travel a lot in there. That was on stage, and of course there was like street music outside playing music. What you can see here, it's like 50 people playing music and 200 people around it, so it's a completely different feeling to stand there. The evening concert. So I was taking that bus, which was crowdfunded for hackers, back to Sao Paulo to spend some days in Sao Paulo, and there's a hackerspace in Sao Paulo, which is in the Castle de Cultura, which is that place. This is a former place which was used in a movie, but now they use it in the basement to have a space. It's called the Garoa Hackerspace. It's raining there a lot, like in Hamburg, like in my town. So they have the umbrella as a sign. This is the reason why this space started, because it was like one guy in the university wanted to build his own flipper. The university basically told him, hey, the university is not a good place to do so. So he started a hackerspace a year ago. And now it's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger because they got our ideas, they had been on the camp, and they really like that. So what I want to say is there's more hackerspaces between US and Europe. You have to watch over the borders to also other countries. When you go there, look at hackerspaces.org, check out if there is a space, announce yourself in the IRC, and you will figure that out. These people was really, really hostile to me. They showed me a lot of things. We partied a lot.
1 minute call for extension.
Like the day I had to drive back, they ordered me a special taxi called Ja Taxi, which has, like you can see on the internet, which is his actual position. He has a New York telephone number, so when you're being in New York, you can call him to catch you up from the airport. He has an iPad in the car and Wi-Fi for free. That's basically it. Thank you very much.
And give Jens an extra special round of applause for actually being adventurous and running slides off his own laptop. Those are great pictures. Okay, Confine, you're up next. And just let me make sure that I got your latest deck. Nope, that's not it. That's definitely not it. That's it.
Okay. So hi, my name is Kaplan. I'm one of the founders of the Funkfeuer network in Austria. That's roughly equivalent to the Freifunk networks in Germany. It's the widest community mesh network covering multiple cities in Austria and covering also all of Vienna essentially, and almost extending to Bratislava, which is the next largest capital, quite close to Vienna. So I'm involved with the Confine project. Next slide, please. That's EU project consisting of multiple partners, multiple community wireless networks. The Athens wireless network is part of that. That's covering all of Athens, roughly 5,000 mesh nodes. Wireless GIFInet in Barcelona, roughly 14,000 nodes, maybe by now 15,000. They're growing exponentially at the moment. Funkfeuer, us, some research institutes and universities, the Fraunhofer Institute, the University Polytechnic Catalunya in Barcelona, and a few other organizations. So what we're doing in the Confine project, next slide please, is that we're building sort of a Planet Lab for mesh networks. Quick show of hands, who's familiar with Planet Lab? Okay, just a few. Okay, Planet Lab is essentially a distributed, confederated testbed network for mainly researchers trying out new protocols, like, let's say, peer-to-peer protocols or something like BitTorrent or whatever, yeah? So usually a university will contribute 1 or 2 servers to the project, and it's quite a large confederated test network where each server has multiple slices, so it's a virtualized network, virtualized VMs on each server, and there were really many very interesting results from Planet Lab. Now the whole thing is very different if you go to wireless, the wireless layer, because Wireless is, it doesn't have these nice properties like the cable, essentially. You have interference, you have lots of noise, you have lots of crappy stuff that really makes it totally different. So that's one lesson that all the community networks learned, the hardware. Every community wireless network that built a network and was just not theorizing about it actually learned that layer 1 is the stuff that really sucks. So we also have these wireless battle mesh events regularly. Maybe you have heard about them. That's where the community wireless networks folks meet in Europe every year. The next one is going to be in Greece. And you can think of Confine as sort of a permanent wireless battle mesh network, you know, and on different layers. So layer 1 would be a virtualized network in a virtual machine, let's say 1,000 OpenWRT instances running in parallel in a virtual network in a server. You can test code there. Second thing would be to have actual hardware connected with coax cables, attenuators, and you can work on Wi-Fi drivers there without having interference. Third level would be the actual test network, and for Funkfeuer we're going to build that in the Alps, so we're going to exercise a bit. Will be very good for my tummy. And yeah, so essentially what we're having is the community wireless networks and the R&D institutes, the universities are finally working together there. And it's not like the universities are just publishing about wireless mesh stuff and they get it all wrong because they didn't have a real network. That was their problem. They always simulated it in NS2. And the community wireless networks didn't have the scientific backing. So
Extend time.
Oh, thanks. So I think that's essentially what's going to happen over the next 4 years. Next slide, please. And we need your input. So in case you're in that field, or in case you're into wireless community networks, mesh networks, R&D, you want to go in that direction, please contact us. Here you find my email address. The confineproject.eu website has some background information, and that's about it. Thanks.
And then let me find myself here. Okay. And Netzob? Okay, ready to go?
Yes.
All right.
So, hi everybody. I'm going to talk about an open source project called NetZob.
Just speak a little louder and more into the microphone. You can actually bring it towards you.
So NetZob is a framework dedicated to help you in the process of reverse engineering of communication protocols. Next slide, please. So by communication protocols, I mean every interaction.
A little bit too close.
I mean every interaction you can find between entities, whether this entities is a binary, a library, process, a kernel module, a device, or even a remote entity. Next slide. So there are different needs to do reverse engineering. So as I come from a security company, my main reason to do that is to assess the robustness of proprietary implementation of protocols. But you may also want to simulate traffic in order to test third-party products like IDS or firewalls. Previous slide, please. You may want to analyze traffic for potential information leakage, and you also may want to develop an open source version of a proper protocol implementation. Slide, please. So this is the big picture of NetZob. It's in 5 parts. The first part is to do data acquisition. So there are captors and sensors to retrieve data from network or API calls, for example. The heart of NetZob is based on grammar and vocabulary inference. And as output, you have the simulation module. You can generate traffic, both client and server. You have the fuzzing part, so you use the simulation part to do variation on data. And you can export protocol inferred in the dissector of Wireshark or Scapy, for example. Slide, please. So one word on the vocabulary inference. So the goal is to retrieve the message format of a protocol, of each message. And it's based on two well-known algorithms in the DNA field. So we have implemented those protocols. The other steps is that NetZob provides is a field type identification, the semantic identification. And one thing which is pretty cool is that NetZob is able to retrieve the file length field and its associated payload. So you can, for example, retrieve the TCP payload above the IP payload, for example. Slide, please. One word on the grammar inference. So the goal is to retrieve the state machine of the protocol. It's based on two well-known algorithms also. It's an active process, so you use an implementation of the protocol so that you can stimulate, and you can retrieve the state and transition between states. Slide, please. So this is a screenshot of the interface of NetZob. Slide, please. So it's licensed under the GPL v3 license. It's developed notably as part of a thesis, and it's sponsored by Aimosys and Supelec, which are a French company and engineer school. So this is our website, netzob.org, and we will release Debian package in the next days. So I hope you will enjoy it. Thanks.
All right, and with 1 minute and 42 seconds left, that's a record for today. Do we have harvesting boarding passes? Harvesting boarding passes? Okay, WebFWD. WebFWD. Okay, so OPSEC Top 10, Ultra Mega Man, are you here? Okay, awesome, sweet. Make that one disappear.
Does this work? Can you hear me? Closer. Is this good? Yeah, good. Okay, thanks.
And yeah, this was scheduled for 13:35, yeah. So give him a round of applause for actually doing what I told him to do and showing up 15 minutes early. Because that's the funny thing about lightning talks is that you never know. I mean, I think last year we had 5 people in a row skip out on their presentations after they confirmed over email. And while I'm taking this break, you can submit a lightning talk. We have many, many slots open for tomorrow for the Pechakucha round, and we still have some slots open for day 4. If you specifically requested day 4 and sent me an email about it, I skipped over your email. I probably didn't have a chance to reply to it, but I will include you on day 4 if you've emailed me already. The instructions for submitting a lightning talk are on the wiki. If you just go to events.ccc.de/congress/2011/wiki/lightning_talks, you will be able to find the page where you can, where you have the tiny little form. Send in your slides, keep your abstract short, and if you want to participate in the Pechakucha round, you get an extra whole 1 2/3 minutes. And it's also really fun. It's a format that's taking off that the Congress decided they wanted to do this year, and I thought, hey, why don't we try it? But without any further ado, Ultra Mega Man, you ready to go?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's get this started. Time starts now.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm from Canada. I'm a security consultant. My interests include cryptography, civil liberties, remote code execution, and Scotch. I'm here to talk to you about OPSEC as my top 10 list of things everyone should do. Should be quick and funny. My motivation for this talk is that in Canada there's a bill in our parliament to allow the police to warrantlessly wiretap our cell phones and internet connections. I believe everyone should be prepared for this by knowing how to protect their data. Slide. Number 10, end-to-end encryption. We live in a surveillance society. This tech should be everyone's first countermeasure. Slide. Number 9, full disk encryption. If your gadget gets stolen or seized, make sure they can't read your data. Number 8, slide. Yeah. Number 8, wipe your device. Even better than having your encrypted data stolen, not having your data stolen. Jake and Moxie aren't the only ones, but they're probably the best documented cases. Slide. Number 7, don't log chat. If your stuff gets seized and the feds get your logs, your friends are going to be pissed. Slide. Number 6, stop snitching. If you're an informant for the government or military turning in your friends, I hope your body shows up in a landfill. Next slide. Use Tor. The strong legal support behind running a Tor exit means that if suspicious traffic leaves your IP, it was Tor. Next slide. Don't host in America. I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell a room full of Europeans about this. Slide. Number 3, don't use closed source. Between the intentional backdoors and the accidental bugs, I don't think you can trust it. Slide. Number 2, prevent evil mate attacks. BIOS rootkits exist. They're hard to detect, and the government pays 5 to 6 figures for them. Do the math. And the number 1 thing that everyone should do is don't fuck Swedish women.
Oh.
This slide.
There's more?
Yeah. Just next slide. Because I have a bit of time, I'd like to mention my favorite political prisoner. Byron Son was arrested before the G20 in Toronto in 2010. He's the only person still left in the legal system. He's being punished by the state for embarrassing the police and the security apparatus. His trial is a grim precedent for all of us that would poke at holes in the security system, and it's important that we all stand with him. Thanks.
Did you realize that you had 2 minutes and 11 seconds left?
Yeah, I know.
That was, wow. Second round of applause for that. Okay, yeah. We can postpone, it's okay. We can postpone. Just send me an email, we'll postpone, it's okay. All right. Okay.
Hello? Send you an email, or what should I do?
Yeah, send me an email.
Yeah?
Yeah, and just say.
Tomorrow or after
Yeah.
tomorrow?
Mhm,
Like
yeah.
last
Day 4, yep, that's
Yeah,
fine.
okay.
Yeah, just send me it, no problem. Okay. All right. Trojans?
Hello?
Hello? Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Did you send me slides or no?
Yes, I send
Okay,
you.
right.
Send you.
All right. Yeah.
My lecture is about web forward.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, that's okay. We'll handle it. It's cool. Okay. This is the one for 1340? Okay, yeah. All right, and since we're a little bit ahead of time, how do you guys feel about a quick stretch break? Quick stretch break? Get up, yep. Get up, get up. It's early in the morning. Let's get all those bottles to fall right now so that doesn't happen during the talk. Yep. Okay. Yeah, because lightning talks are intense. You know, that's a lot of information, not a lot of time. You gotta stretch it out a little bit. Also, we are going to be switching languages. So the next 2 talks are in German. So I should probably figure out what. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. Yeah, and this would also give it time. You know, only 2 talks in German. There will be no live translation because that would be probably next year. Actually, the people who are doing live translation of the German events this year are doing a really great job, and I think they deserve a round of applause. But in the meantime, I should probably figure out what the German word for slide is. Huh?
No, it's just slide.
Just you're just gonna do just gonna say slide?
Eigentlich.
What? I'm curious now though. What is the German word? I'm trying to learn German here.
Nächste Folie.
Folia? Did I get that kind of right? Folia? Okay. Fulia. Fall. Okay, I think we'll just stick with slide. How about that? Okay. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, audience, are you guys ready to go? All right, time starts now.
Okay, hallo, mein Name ist Jens Stomber und als ich dieses Jahr gesehen habe, was unsere Regierung mit dem Staatstrojaner macht, hat mich das sehr wütend gemacht. Und ich habe dann angefangen, mich damit zu beschäftigen, was kann man eigentlich dagegen tun und habe mich damit beschäftigt, auf welcher Grundlage eigentlich solche Maßnahmen überhaupt angewendet werden. Slide, please. Der Punkt ist halt, es gibt halt verschiedene Gesetze, die das halt genau regeln, wie zum Beispiel, hier am Beispiel Telekommunikationsüberwachung, wie solche Maßnahmen eigentlich genehmigt werden und wie die konkreten administrativen Abläufe in der Behörde sind. Und man kann daran relativ viel Kritik üben. Ich will das hier ganz kurz aufgreifen. Man sieht hier links einen ersten Regelkreis, wo in dem Sinne praktisch eine Maßnahme angeregt wird und wo es eigentlich einen Richtervorbehalt gibt. In der Praxis wird dieser Richtervorbehalt heute so nicht effektiv gelebt. Das heißt, ein großer Teil der Maßnahmen wird halt ohne die richtig zu prüfen einfach genehmigt. Das ist das erste große Problem. Dann, wenn so eine Maßnahme genehmigt ist, wird sie halt durchgeführt. Das haben wir ja gesehen beim Staatstrojaner, dass das da beispielsweise relativ schlecht technisch umgesetzt ist. Dann gibt es ein anderes großes Problem. Grundsätzlich gilt halt, alle Betroffenen einer TKÜ-Maßnahme sind zum Beispiel auch im Nachhinein zu benachrichtigen. Das ist deswegen wichtig, damit diese Betroffenen, das heißt wir als Bürger, wenn wir darüber informiert werden, dass wir abgehört worden sind, wenn wir das nicht für richtig halten, entsprechend auch politisch aktiv werden können, um uns gegen sowas zu wehren. Heute ist es aber de facto so, dass in 2/3 aller überwachten Anschlüsse überhaupt gar keine Benachrichtigung von Betroffenen stattfindet. Und in Ermangelung dieser Benachrichtigung können wir uns dann auch nicht dagegen wehren. Aus diesem Grund bin ich der Meinung, Slide please, dass man bereits im Grundgesetz praktisch diesen Überwachungsmaßnahmen jeden Boden entziehen muss. Im Grundgesetz ist die Privatsphäre, darunter verstehe ich jetzt, oder das Grundgesetz eben, dass Telefone nicht abgehört werden, dass es in dem Sinne keine Wohnungsüberwachung gibt, dass auch die Post nicht überwacht wird, dass in dem Sinne auch der PC nicht überwacht wird. Diese Dinge sind im Grundgesetz bereits festgeschrieben. In den letzten Jahren sind dann immer wieder Änderungen am Grundgesetz durchgeführt worden, um halt diese Überwachungsmaßnahmen überhaupt erst zu ermöglichen. Ich habe in der Piratenpartei eine Initiative gestartet, diese entsprechenden Absätze im Grundgesetz, die das ermöglichen, ersatzlos zu streichen. Slide, please. Letzte Folie. Hier sehen wir jetzt in dem Sinne den Link. Alle Piraten möchte ich dazu auffordern, sich mit dem auseinanderzusetzen und diese Initiative zu unterstützen. Und ansonsten alle anderen, die an dem Thema interessiert sind, freue ich mich immer gerne auf entsprechendes Feedback oder Anregungen. Danke.
And you have 2 minutes left. Do we have a second microphone for questions? Okay. Would you like to take questions real quick with your last 2 minutes?
Yeah, yeah.
Any questions? Maybe you should repeat that in German in case they didn't get it the first time.
Fragen? Genau, wenn noch jemand Fragen hat.
Okay, give him a round of applause. All right, do we have the Pirate Party talk? And did you guys submit slides, or do you have background picture? Okay, did I? Okay.
SecurityX, SecurityX. Willst du das Mikro nehmen? Ja, was ist denn? Was? Wer hat das Mikro? Mikro. Fangen wir schon an? Nein, wir machen nur ein Background. Wir brauchen ein Background. Was ist denn da drauf? Ja, das Logo, okay. Was ist das neue Logo? War das überhaupt basisdemokratisch?
Kommen Sie mir nicht so.
Guck an. Funktioniert. Wow.
I has the internets.
Ja, sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, liebes Präsidium.
Do we have a second handheld
Second what?
A second handheld microphone, or are you guys okay like
Is it
this?
okay?
Oh yeah, if you're fine with it, that's cool.
Ja, we're flexible.
Yeah. And since
Nein, ich wollte dich vorstellen und das fängst du an. Gott, ist das kompliziert. Rednerliste, okay. Sehr geehrte Damen und Herren, liebes... Was? Können wir?
yeah, if you guys are ready to go, everybody's good. Audience is ready. We're all ready. Time starts. Well, actually, I'm just waiting for 13:40, so we can get exactly back on time. Time starts now.
Okay, das Präsidium meint es ganz genau. Mein Name ist Alexander Warlang. Ich bin Pirat und seit kurzem Mitglied des Abgeordnetenhauses und gehöre zu dem ungefähr Drittel der Fraktion der Piratenpartei, welches CCC-Hintergrund hat. Das ist ein Piratenfraktionär mit CCC-Hintergrund. Der Mensch hier ist Plätzchen. Plätzchen ist unser Chef, also unser Admin. Und wir werden ein bisschen aus dem Maschinenraum der Fraktion erzählen. Plätzchen.
Ja, also mein Name ist Plätzchen, aber eigentlich Philipp Brechler. Ich bin irgendwie aus Versehen der Admin der Fraktion geworden. Mache den Job jetzt exakt einen Tag nach der Wahl, weil wir dann ja schon was brauchten. Wir haben jetzt eine Webseite, ein LDAP, ein funktionierendes Webmailer-System und Kalender und so. Kriegen jetzt bald unseren eigenen Serverraum im AGH, der total überdimensioniert ist, hint, hint. Und brauchen jetzt eure Hilfe, weil wir haben uns überlegt, ja, so ein Wiki-System ist ja ganz nett, Media-Wiki, aber zum Dokumentieren und Maschinenlesbarkeit der Fraktion herstellen brauchen wir was anderes und haben uns für ein Redmine-System entschieden, das ja eigentlich aus der Softwareentwicklung kommt, haben das schon ein bisschen angepasst und suchen jetzt Leute, die uns weiter dabei helfen, es anzupassen. Also jemand, der Ruby programmieren kann. Und das gleiche gilt auch noch für ein WordPress, da brauchen wir auch noch ein bisschen Hilfe. Das allerdings nicht wirklich viele und das kann wahrscheinlich jemand schnell machen. Und wir haben tatsächlich auch ein Budget dafür, dass ihr das tut, denn wir wollen die Open-Source-Entwicklung unterstützen. Und warum wir das tun wollen und wie, das sagt jetzt nochmal Alex.
Okay, du wolltest eigentlich über die Technik erzählen, oder?
Wie viel Technik kann ich denn da noch erzählen?
Ja, dass wir einen Band-Backup haben. Also wir machen sogar Backups. Anyway, es gibt diverses Zeug. Wir machen das jetzt mit diesem Redmine. Wir versuchen tatsächlich mit modernen Mitteln eine Fraktion in einem wirklich alten System zu betreiben. Und es sind so ein paar Sachen aufgefallen, die stören, die fehlen. Also wir benutzen Etherpad, um unsere Protokolle zu schreiben, öffentlich. Wir brauchen endlich mal eine LDAP-Anbindung für Etherpad oder Etherpad Lite. Wir brauchen einen externen Zuschauerserver, weil es nicht angehen kann, dass irgendwie 5000 Leute diesen Server in die Knie dringen und wir dann nicht mehr Protokolle schreiben können, beziehungsweise nicht mehr öffentlich. Wir hätten gerne eine Ethernet Lite-Integration ins Redmine. Wenn ich ein Wiki habe oder ein Pad und das getrennt ist, ist es voll doof. Ich würde gerne kollaborativ an den Dingern arbeiten. Wir brauchen ein kollaboratives Mindmapping. Wir haben einen Doodle in dem Redmine, das ist ganz toll, falls mal jemand ein eigenes Doodle betreiben will. Aber das Ding muss dringend mit dem Kalenderserver abgleichen können und CalDAV sprechen. Wir brauchen eine Dokumentenverwaltung, die über das Ablegen von Dokumenten hinausgeht und nicht für Bürokräfte gemacht wurde, sondern für Nerds gemacht wurde. Wir brauchen ein Ideenbeschlusstracking, wo wir in der Lage sind, eine Idee von der Entstehung in einer Arbeitsgruppe, dem ersten Eintrag im Wiki, der Diskussion in der Mailingliste, dem Gang durchs Liquid Feedback, mit dem entsprechenden Antrag für die Fraktion bzw. Fraktionsversammlung, Zuordnung in dem Clusterprojekt, Ausschussreferenten bis hin zur Ausschusslesung und dann dem Durchgang durchs Parlament zu tracken, damit du auf einen Blick siehst, wo ist das Ding überall gewesen, wer hat was dazu geschrieben, wer hat sich Gedanken dazu gemacht, so etwas, wenn wir irgendwelche Anträge in anderen Landesverbänden recyceln wollen, dass der recyceln will, auch mal sinnvoll tun kann. Wir brauchen ein Anything to Structured Data Connector, weil ganz viele Leute stellen Dinge ins Web, das sind dann irgendwelche PDFs, das sind irgendwelche gruseligen Webseiten, die müssen gescraped werden, da müssen RSS-Feeds draus entstehen, da muss ICS draus entstehen. Und ganz, ganz wichtig, wir müssen diesen ganzen trockenen Zahlenwust visualisieren, damit man damit irgendwie sinnvoll was anfangen kann. Das ist Abstimmungsverhalten, das sind Vorgänge, das sind Richtungen. Und wir haben uns gesagt, wir nehmen
extend time.
Ja, wunderbar. Wir haben ein Budget und wir werden diese ganzen Projekte demnächst ausschreiben, um die Open-Source-Entwicklung auch im Bereich parlamentarische Tools zu stärken. Vielen lieben Dank für eure Aufmerksamkeit.
One more sentence. Und wir haben einen Mailinglistenserver unter lists.piratenfraktion-berlin.de. Da gibt es eine Liste, die heißt IT, sinnigerweise. Wer mitarbeiten will, könnte sich am besten da mal eben registrieren, dann können wir kommunizieren. Danke, tschüss.
Oh, you actually have one question and 20 seconds left.
Dass Sie als Fraktion die Infrastruktur vom Abgeordnetenhaus stellen wollen.
Nein, das nicht, aber wir wollen erstmal unser eigenes Zeug in die richtige Richtung bekommen und dann können wir mit der IT reden, des Abgeordnetenhauses, weil die, sagen wir so, wir kommen sehr gut miteinander aus und die haben auch sehr viele Ideen, aber die brauchen halt auch einen parlamentarischen Arm, weil sie halt selber gar nichts entscheiden dürfen. So, das heißt, wir hätten das gerne für uns und dann könnte man ja gucken, dass wir das auch für den Rest bekommen.
Round of applause.
Hello? Yeah, it's working.
Okay, Social Swarm, are you guys ready to go? And did I get new slides from you, or are you going to use your laptop? No, you don't. Okay, let me see. You realize I was on stage a half an hour ago, right? Let's see. That's correct? Yes. Okay, that's the correct deck. All right. And for those of you playing along at home, shockingly, we are actually 4 minutes ahead of schedule. The Social Swarm talk is on the schedule for 13:50. I'm not going to kill a whole 4 minutes, but I do want to say that we do have plenty of slots open for tomorrow for the Pechikucha round. You can even email me as you're watching this talk right now with your 20-slide deck. And of course, day 4, there are probably still some slots left. I answer all the emails in the order that I receive them. Day 4 is a pretty popular talk, so if you want to get one in, I would recommend doing that as quickly as possible, or adjusting your slides to the Pechikucha format, which will probably result in brand new levels of lightning talk hilarity. That's what I'm counting on, lots and lots of humor. So are you guys ready to go? Everybody? Okay. And then I believe coming up at 2 o'clock, we're just going to take a quick 10-minute break. But we've got Tinkerforge Bricks, FAT's latest hits, hacking a train's intercom, which I actually hope is here. And even if he's not, I'm going to play the video he sent me anyway. Code Hero, Queer Geeks panel, lots of other stuff. But without any further ado, round of applause. We'll start your time when it ends. Go.
Hi, we are Rena Tangens and
Lena Simon from Social Swarm.
We do this talk in English because this is an international project, despite we both speak German usually. Next slide, please. We all know Facebook is evil because depending on big corporations who give a shit about laws, privacy, or any issues that concern us, and you all know it's central data storage and the corporations have access to it. There is the danger of manipulation because Facebook knows it all. And users are not the customers, they are the products being sold. We all know this. Facebook is evil, but most people here even use it anyway. Boycott seems futile.
Slide, please. The problem is there's one other really important feature about Facebook. It's awesome. It really does a lot of good stuff and people can connect, and that's why all the non-nerds use it very much, and it really works in getting people wanting to use it. And that's the reason why boycotting it doesn't really work as well, because I don't want to live in a world where 80% of the people can be manipulated easily through social networks. So, slide please. So far, there has been a lot of ideas how to solve the problem. There was, for example, the Quit Facebook Day. We had the suicide machine where you could erase your Facebook profile. There was a huge donations when Diaspora launched their project. And we have plenty of other alternative projects, software projects, or things like the Freedom Boxes, where people put a lot of hard work to getting ideas how we can solve the Facebook problem. This year, Facebook was awarded with a Big Brother award, and we are having more and more, mostly negative headlines about Facebook in the media. Slide.
Well, what is the idea of the social swarm? We want to go somewhere nicer, and we want to do it together. And this means we want to reunite forces. We want to form a think tank with all the other projects. We don't want just to program one new project, but we want to connect them. And our goals are free software, open standards to connect. We want end-to-end encryption. We want decentral data storage, and we want alternative funding. This means do not trade your data for free access to a platform. We want to create a hype. We want to make it cool to change somewhere else and to work on a new project. And we want to have the cake and eat it too. We want to have real privacy, and we want to connect. Next slide.
So now it's your turn. We did our short version of the talk. It's your turn. You can come to the workshops around this Congress. You can join the mailing list, and you can visit our website. The workshops are, there's one, they are both today. One is at 3:45 downstairs in the basement in the huge workshop room A3. And the other one, the first one is about the strategy and mostly campaigning, and the second one is about technical stuff. It's a little more nerdy.
Extend time.
And it's at the sea base at 8 o'clock. Yeah, we're Social Swarm. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, coming up, Tinkerforge bricks. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then just double check that this is the deck. Is this the correct deck?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, also another thing, you don't have to add the please with the slide. You can just say slide, and that's it. And then after this talk, we're going to have a break, and we will return back at 10 after 2, right after this talk. So this is the last talk before the break. If you have a talk coming up, give me just a quick second to head out, come back in, we'll take care of everything. And without any further ado, Tinkerforge bricks, you ready to go? All right, so just say slide, and your time starts now.
Okay, thank you. My name is Alexander Schremmer, and I want to talk to you about Tinkerforge bricks. The mic is too, okay. Tinkerforge bricks, no, I didn't say slide. Oh.
Sorry, that was the audience.
Yes.
15 more seconds for you.
It is an open source hardware building block project, and everything here is open source or open hardware license on a CERN open hardware license. And it was started by 2 friends of mine. Slide, please. So electronics can be exhausting. For example, microcontroller programming can be very hard if you get timing problems or size problems, your code doesn't fit in there, or if you want to debug a breadboard like in the lower left, then you might hit the wrong wires or connect them, and end up with something which is very tedious to debug. Or if you want to solder, you need to read complex data sheets if you want to make a new circuit. So in the end, to end up with such complex projects, you need to do a lot of things, and you need to learn a lot. But sometimes you only want to program, you want to make something, and that's where Tinker Forge bricks come into play. Slide, please. So the idea is to have bricks like in the upper middle part of the picture. These bricks can be combined into a stack, and then you can connect other things to these bricks. So let's have an example. Slide, please. Here we have a motor driver. We're connected to a motor and a power supply unit. And now imagine that this motor driver is connected to a computer, and this computer is running some small program like 2 lines of code, and these 2 lines of code in C#, Python, Java, whatever, or C, would actually drive this motor and control it. So you actually need a connection to the system, to the computer. Slide, please. So you can also add a rotary poti here to control the motor more complexly, and this would add maybe 1 line of code in your piece of code. Slide, please. You can also stack these bricks, and then you end up with more complex systems. And why would we want to do so? Slide, please. We combine these bricks together on 2 sides, and these could talk on a wireless connection, which is a derivative of Zigbee, which is called Chibi. And so you connect the left stack to the computer and turn the poti. The program is running on the computer, and then it controls the second stack, which is lying somewhere in the room. So this is one central idea of this whole concept. Slide, please. More information is available on www.tinkerforge.org, or send an email to me. I can also demo the stuff. I'm in the Hack Center at the Moin Moin table. I have a few bricks and bricklets with me. And if you want to order some, there's a rebate code here. It gives you 5% off. And I asked my friends to give out this code to get more traction, maybe to get more interest. Yeah, it's only valid from January 1st. Thank you for your attention.
You have 1 minute and 37 seconds left for questions, and I think you have a question right there.
Question, is it open hardware?
Again, please.
Is it open hardware?
Yes, it's open hardware as in CERN licensed, so you can get schematics and the layout files and stuff. Another question?
Okay, great. One last round of applause. And now we're going to head into a 10-minute break, so we will see you back here at 10 after 2. Check, check, check. Okay, great. And we're back. We have 2 live demos. Yeah, you should just do a quick check. Can you check the sound off the laptop? Okay, all right. Okay, we've got 2 live demos coming up. One from Code Hero, one from FatLab, and then we're going to get right back into the schedule. So without any further ado, take it away. Let me start the time. And then, basically just a quick introduction how this works. Each speaker has 5 minutes, but at the 4-minute mark, we go to the audience and I say extend time. If you like it, applaud real quickly, and he can get the last minute. If the talk sucks, we cut them off. And then when you've got 10 seconds left, I go like this, 9, 8, 7, 6, and then at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your time is up. So without any further ado, Alex, Code Hero, take it away. Time starts now.
Yo, dog. I heard you like games and hacking. So I made you a game that teaches you how to make games. So you can hack the Gibson's entire stack And so you can make games that will teach us to hack the planet. See, we've been in the news lately for this thing called Code Hero, and it is a game that teaches you how to make games so you can hack the Gibson stack and hack the planet. What do we mean by the stack? Well, not just surface, like, oh, you're going to teach kiddie programming? No, this is not logo. This is the whole stack. And secondly, what do you mean by planet hacking? Well, we don't mean just raising your fist in the air. We mean hacking the planet all the way from the bottom to the top, the way civilization works. We have to start with rabbit holes. We've got to suck the normals in. Step one, the video game. They think, oh, video games, these are safe to give to my children. The first code hack they learn is they're learning to code. They enter Cambridge University, and they're given a door by Ada Lovelace, who says, I'm the enchantress of numbers, and the languages of the land you can learn are Unity script for games and JavaScript for web apps. So they start with games because they want to blow stuff up. Hello World is not that exciting. And they get into transform position hacking level, and they see, okay, this is X, Y, Z. And the way I used to teach this, I would say, okay, here's your X, here's your Y, here's your Z, and then we do backwards yoga, negative Y, negative Z, etc. But it's just not a scalable teaching method. So instead, in the level, they get a code gun, and they aim at the target, and the code they have is Y minus equals 4. And when they shoot, it hits the object, and Y is the reference to the object that they hit, and bam, it evals JavaScript in real time in the game engine. Bam, the object moves down, they get the gold star. That's how Code Hero works. This is your code gun. There are fizz bosses at every challenge that you learn that teach you that you have to master the concept. Fizz bosses, the numbers 1 to 100, turn into 100 evil robots you got to beat. And the challenge is a briefing you get, and what you are told is your mission may seem impossible, but impossible is what coders do, and that's what you're learning how to do. You go through the door, you fight the robots, you get victory, you earn entry to the Hall of Heroes. You're there as a peer, not as a fanboy. And ultimately, your real test is to ship something, and the final boss is ship boss, because real artists ship. And you actually, there's a real pirate ship in the game where you have to ship your game, and you're taught how to do that. And the whole point is that this is the reverse rabbit hole. First, they brought them into the world of code, so we could bring them out of the world of code so they become a maker and actually feel they've made something. That's planet hack number 1, make everybody a maker with Unity so they can create their own games. And we're creating a platform called Primer where those games that people make will be able to teach all the things that need teaching. And that's what I'm asking you people in the audience with all of your skills and brilliance to do afterwards. So to do this, we then go to another rabbit hole. We say, well, you know, that's all well and good, but what about the web? So first, then we teach them web hacking. So they learn to make these web apps, and there's in-game web browsers. It's not a browser game. It has a browser in it. But that's not enough, because there's something behind the browser. Where does the code run?
Alex, I could just stop one quick second. Your sound's kind of clipping out. Can you just step back, just do a quick sound check?
So where does the code run? Well, it runs on servers. And then they find out the rabbit hole is revealed. All that code is running on virtual machines, which we use VNC and SSH sessions to pipe the player into. So when they play this game, they break into Backtrack and a virtual topology of networks that they're learning to hack the whole Linux all the way down. And their first mission is, you know, break into a login system, go through a door. You guys have all seen Armitage. I don't need to show you this video for most of you, but if you want to watch it, it's basically Mudge said, hey kids, you like hacking? You want to fight China? Here, play this video game. And it's basically like hacking the Gibson in the movies, but it's a real Metasploit visual front end that does red team collaborative hacking. So we give them tools like this to give them an intro into the world of code and how it actually works. So the point of Cambridge is if you look up in the sky, there's all the stars. They're actually the cities of the Earth. And we're telling them, don't just play the game, go to hackerspaces. So planet hack number 2, meet at Unidiversity, which is our word for the universal college that is every hackerspace. We invite them to come to the space, and this is what the classes look like, and teach each other. And what they do is we get these like 6- and 7-year-old girls with their cute little skull mittens learning video game programming and teaching adults because they've been learning it. And they go back to regular school and they look sad. And they say, teacher, why can't this be a hackerspace? So suddenly, we're going to hack into their entire school system by hacking the future.
1 minute extend time.
So we create makerhoods. We have a makerhood that's not just hackerspaces, it's hacker quarters where you live and hackademies where your kids and you go to school. The hackerspace becomes a place to live, a place to go to school. Hack the Future is an example of the school. We have Al Alcorn, who invented video games, teaching next to a 12-year-old who made 40 video games already. And this is growing. Our power level is reaching over 9,000, actually about 900. But we are being excellent to each other, and our goals are simple. Teach each other to hack the Gibson by learning game code, learning web code, learning Linux, so that we can hack the planet, ship something, meet up at university, and make an entire makerhood. We have billboards all over the cities where these are being told to people, hack yourself, hack the planet, hack the future. And what we're leading towards is a world where Code Hero is just a gateway drug into makerhoods. So if you want to learn more about Code Hero, we have a Kickstarter we just launched. and it is primerlabs.com, makerhoods.com. Thank you very much. Hack the planet.
Wow. Okay. There will be a live demo at Berlin Sides if you want to see it again. One more round of applause for Alex. That was a really awesome demo. Okay. And do we have Fat Labs? Okay, you're good? All right. Live demo number 2. Okay, and also just so that you guys know, live demos, if you decide to do one, your setup time is taken off of your time to encourage people to send in their slides in advance. So we are going to start the clock right now.
Great. Okay. So.
Oh, mic check real quick.
Okay. Oops, it's kind of tall. Hi, I'm Geraldine, and I'm from Fat Lab. I'm one of the almost 22 fellows that we are already. We are celebrating this year our 5th anniversary already. So probably next year we're going to do some trouble about it. So I'm going to show you the last projects we have done, and this is the Googler, which was made by Andy, and basically it's like a dildo that pings when you when your browsers ping Google. So here is. Oh, I don't know what is. So yeah, this is very useful. Then we have the project of our Speed Fellow, Aram. He made this. He made art with that like sketchy R2D2 spyware that you Germans do to spy people in the world.
Niggas still got love for you.
You can go to Cafe Morgan and see this like code that was printing in FAS, I think, with the whole reverse engineered code for the R2D2 thing.
We're done. So it's that easy to turn code into art, and now it's your turn to make your own artwork. And it's especially worth you doing this when you find, I don't know, very beautiful code, or maybe you find code which is very fucked up. Like this code.
And then we have the QR code generator that Golan Levin, that it's our latest new fellow did. So you can just generate some stencils for graffiti in the street, your QR codes. He made these hobo codes based on that application that you can download, obviously, from FAT. And then we make this project for Occupy. We recruit a GIF army. We ask people to send us their protest GIFs. Then we create a little code that you can add into your web page to protest from your browser, not even your couch. And we really took to the next level the, I don't know, couch activism concept. Then we make this service. Once we have all these GIFs that we recruit, and people started like adding to their sites, which were like more than 700. We gave them this service, so you can force occupy any website on the internet that you want. So you can put like on Bloomberg, on Goldman Sachs, or whatever, your GIF protest. And then we make this plugin that you can just occupy with a 99% and see how many people were protest, and you could be in protest mode or in peaceful mode. And these are lots of the screenshots we got from the people that actually put the protest in their website, which, as I said, were more than 700. Then it was our Force Occupy plugin was also in the TEPCO research.
1 minute, extend time.
Okay, we did all of that, and sorry, we made an exhibition, and also we have a new documentary that was on PBS, but we don't have time to see it, so you will have to see it in your house. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay, you've got 31 seconds, but
yeah,
I guess.
Where are you? In Berlin? No, we are in the internet.
Can you use your protest widget for other things too?
Yeah, you can use it. For instance, I didn't show it, but we did an exhibition. So we use all the people that we use all the website that put this code to show them an exhibition we curate with some Evan curate with some hackers and like some artists and other people that make net art. So yeah, you can use it. The code is in GitHub. So if you want to use it for Force Occupy, other things, other sites.
Cool. Another thing you can do with your lightning talk is show a video, and our audio angel. Big round of applause for these angels that are helping me do this thing right now, because I could not do it without them. And so he's got a video that he's going to be playing with as a part of his lightning talk, which is another thing you can do. We have plenty of open room, especially tomorrow for the Pechakucha round. And there are still some slots open on day 4, so get your entries in. The email address is 28c3@nickfarr.org. And you can find all, can I talk and do this at the same time? And you can find all information on how to apply for a lightning talk on the wiki under the article Lightning Talks. So without any further ado, now you're going to do the talk first, then video?
Talk, video, talk.
Huh?
We'll tell you when to play.
Okay, and you've got the timing right because you've got 5 minutes. Okay, Mike
so
check. Go.
First, a quick introduction. In Belgium, we have the SNCB, the railway company, and this year they striked already 22 times. So travelers, of course, aren't happy. So that's why we decided to react. And since I'm a hacker, I reacted on the hacker way. Yeah, there's no audio, but it's subtitled. We didn't figure out you have to push the big red button, so so now it goes like ding dong. So, like, thanks. So, we have 50,000 views, and this is just Flanders, so it's a really small area of the world. And the subtitles in English are only on there since yesterday. So, like 1 minute later, there was another broadcast from the conductor saying, yeah, please ignore the previous message. It was not from the NMES. We are tracking the guy down right now. They didn't find me. So why could we do this? Because the railway company, for all their locks, or almost all their locks, they use this generic square key that you can just get off eBay for $2. The strike was on Thursday, and we posted the video on Friday. And Sunday, I got a call from Nieuwsblad. It's one of the major newspapers in Flanders. And the next day, so that was Christmas Day, and they sent a photographer. And the next day, we had almost a full-page interview in one of the biggest newspapers, or not one of the biggest, but one of the major. And then was some small local TV station played it in the news, and the radio tried to get an interview, but I was on my way here. So this is what you get if you use lame keys for security. And the railway company, they stated that they are still investigating or doubting if they will file a complaint, but yeah.
The Debian booth offers you a free beer. At least it's stated by someone.
All right, thanks. So I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you.
And just so that you know, all links will be available online on the wiki article, Lightning Talks, as well as information on how to apply for talks. But since we're running a little bit slow on time, we've got Willow and Jimmy who are going to be talking about the Queer Geeks panel. So without any further ado, go.
Hello, so my name is Jimmy Rogers and this is Willow Blue. Mitch Altman couldn't be here because he's currently running a Arduino workshop in the hardware hacking area that's completely packed, so it's actually kind of nice to have a break. But tonight we are having in room A04, it's downstairs in the basement just to the right, Queer Geeks panel. So that's for everyone who's gay, bi, transgendered, whatever, or just interested in queer issues, and specifically talking about them in the hacker community, in the hacker scene, how that relates to pretty much everybody there. It's a very welcoming environment, and we'll be talking about our experiences with these things. Yeah, so.
You don't have to be gay or queer to show up.
No.
You can just really like Rainbow Dash. Or not, that's cool too.
So it's in room A04 in the basement tonight at, oh, it's not on here, but it's at 9 o'clock. And then afterwards, there is a meetup for Queer Geeks and Naughty Nerds, which is a local Berlin thing, at...
That is the...
Sorry.
Why did you make it so complicated?
I know. Sorry, I can't do this.
Speak into the microphone, please.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to unlock my my phone and my passcode. I've entered it incorrectly 5 times. So, anyways, yeah, it's at Future. Yes, Future Silver, something like that. Yeah, I can tell you in about 30 seconds. Anyways, yeah.
You can find it on the internet. I trust your foo.
Yep. So that should be about it. Any questions, I guess? No? Okay. And yeah, and Nick Farr head rubs are still only 20 cents. So. Here.
Okay, you're done. You're done.
Yeah, I'm done.
Round of applause.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Jimmy, and ignore that last message. Because
They're free today.
all right, Odin. And we're running a little bit behind, so we're just going to get it started right away. You ready? Oh. Would you mind pushing to day 4?
No, I'm only here today.
Oh, shoot. I thought you were kidding.
No,
Okay, then why don't we go to...
So I asked him before to open it with Adobe Reader because I have the malicious JavaScript code inside.
Is the grep for Python talk here? Grep for there's much to find in Python. And securing the server's privacy policy for providers. Are you still here? Okay, you're ready to go? Okay, well then, I really don't want to install Adobe Reader. I really don't want to do this. I'm gonna. Is it here at the BCC? Okay, yeah, fetch your computer. We'll do that. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. That was yeah. I really would rather not install Adobe Reader. But in the meantime, so the grep Python talk is not in attendance. Okay. Is there anybody here that has a quick lightning talk that they would just want to do right now while the computer's being fetched? Anybody? Nothing on their computer? Well, just to kill time, if you'll permit me, I have a presentation that I actually gave at the Meta Lab, so it's not totally appropriate for here, but it is for an ongoing project of mine, which I would not normally do. Just let me find it. I'm going to breeze through this, and maybe I should have the other Herald Angel time me, just to make sure. I usually breeze through this, and this was originally given at the Meta Lab at Hackerspace in Austria, but I figure while we're waiting, just to kill time, keep the things going. Oh, you already started me? Yes. Okay, all right, well, I guess. And it's a silent lightning talk, so... So yes, it is also possible to do silent lightning talks if you'd like. And now we're going to get the video set up, and I think we're perhaps even back on time, because right after this presentation, right after this presentation, we will have securing the servers, privacy policy providers, and I believe they're going to be using the rest of the time in the room to do a workshop afterwards. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay, great. So without any further ado, ready? Go.
So, hi. Maybe you know, no, my computer fucked up. Yeah, great. Yeah, that's why you should submit your PDF slides to Nick beforwards. I don't know what's now.
I knew we were going to have a screw up in a live demo today.
Yeah, I knew it as well, therefore. I don't know, something.
You know, I'm actually halfway tempted to give you some time because of the screw up with the last minute, me not having what you asked me for. Should I, is that okay? Yeah? Okay. I'm pretty sure in future years people are going to use that as a strategy. How can I make a complicated enough request that's not too complicated to get Nick to screw up so that if I screw up, I have time to fix it? I probably shouldn't have said that, should I? If somebody wants to do a lightning talk about fixing screw-ups fast, I think that would be amazing. See, I actually get my best jokes from the audience in the front row. Hmm? It's all about misdirection. Yes, it is all about misdirection.
And this is about restarting LightDM fast.
I don't know if you can see them, but there's some really cute photos here in the lower left-hand corner of his desktop.
Yeah, whatever. I do it in this way. Okay. So, I start now. You know, maybe LaTeX Beamer, so a really cool tool to make presentations. And usually you have this slide on the presentation. And the problem of LaTeX Beamer is that Adobe has no good presentation mode. So you see it from PowerPoint and all this stuff. And yeah, this is my attempt to create a good presentation mode for it. So you configure your computer to this resolution, you configure the project to have this resolution, and you do it like this, that you put it on a specific position, then you see only this thing on the presentation and all the other only on my laptop. That's what I tried when my computer fucked up. Yeah, great. And the thing is, then you can use the rest of the page to show the next slide, to show your presentation mode, and even to show what you see in the bottom corner to count your time. And this is done in JavaScript, so you see it here, down here. It counts my time, it counts the total time, it counts from this page. It gets red because I'm a little too slow. And you have other cool stuff like click per minute ratios and slide per minute ratios. And you have some field here in the top over there, where you have all the pages where you can jump directly, because the problem is that the Adobe pages which are in the PDF are not the pages you see here. And if afterwards somebody asks, can you please go to slide 3 back, then you can just click here and go to slide 3, which is not necessarily the Adobe page 3. And one great addition you have in this thing too is that after you have done your talk and tried to do your talk, you can just go to the first page, unclick the count time, and then you can review how long you how long it took you to take this slide. So, for example, on this slide, I waited 33 seconds. This everything can be exported, of course. So you have a summary here, which just opens the JavaScript console. And then you have here. This is in text to have it for all slides. And what you can do is you can go to your LaTeX code and write the frame time into your frame. So just beneath begin frame, you make frame time, and then you put the seconds in, and then you have for all the slides the time you have for this slide only, and it counts down the slide, only this slide, the timer, and it gets only for, you have a really fine-grained modification, which is even cooler than in the PowerPoint thing. So I think this is not the end, because I have ideas how this can be improved further. So because when you have this presentation, so this is one PDF, and you come to another computer, I mean, you have to configure the other computer in this way, which is really hard, and it only works on Linux this great. What I have in mind is to have something where you have only this one as a PDF, and you need some program which controls the other windows, so controlling the Adobe window and controlling another Evans window or another Adobe window which shows the next slide, which you can have on your computer. So, and therefore I want to write this in this way. So if you want to help me, contact me. You can just Google for me, you will find it. Real hackers will find it. Yeah, this one. And yeah, that's it.
And just one more round of applause for him being really good in recovering because of our mutual mess up. Okay, securing the servers, you're up. Do you want to use your laptop for the presentation, or should you go through the slides that you sent me and then do your workshop? Oh, yeah, that's probably best. Okay. Oh, no, on the podium, yeah.
So,
So how many people here are thinking about submitting a lightning talk for day 3 or day 4? Got 1, 2, 3, okay. You know I'm going to be pushing this really hard for the next 2 days, right? Coming up tomorrow in tomorrow's lightning talks, we have a lightning talk about dead drops. An interesting X509 talk. We have something from the Hacker Fleet, and there's probably lots more in my email that I will get to shortly. So, ready to go? Okay, and then you have roughly 15 minutes for your workshop afterwards. If you're absolutely desperate for finding workshop time, usually at the end of the lightning talks, we use the little tiny break there to give people a chance to do workshops, and we will be doing that tomorrow and the day after. The Rocket Badge people are probably going to be doing a workshop after lightning talks in here, tomorrow, and the last day we have Mitch doing a workshop on mental health issues. So without any further ado, you guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. Lastly.
One microphone right now?
Huh? Do we have an additional microphone?
This doesn't work. Oh, it works. Okay, cool.
No, we can. Do you have? You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's
Yeah.
good.
Don't forget to. It's bad to talk too far away from the microphone, and then sometimes it's even worse when you talk way too close to the microphone. So find an appropriate distance. We'll signal you and take it away.
So, hello, Chaos. We are a group of system administrators that started to talk about how to care about our users and about the safety of our users. And we put together a kind of checklist for everybody to understand how to run servers and care about the users. And it is for system administrators, for users, and also for everybody. But we will explain in detail.
Yeah, so this is not just about running servers, it's primarily about running servers with a focus on privacy and secure setups and things like this. So the problem we've started with basically is that we've realized that many users cannot or should not trust their hosting or communication providers like ISPs and not ISPs only, but mostly hosting and communication providers like, you know what this is. So many providers, especially commercial ones, make claims on privacy and security which they cannot keep, which you often find out in terms of data leaks or whatever. And often anonymous access to services is not available on these terms. So we want to find a better way to manage this.
And why do we want to do that? Because we want to raise awareness of privacy issues, and we want to make users able to choose their providers based on some more concrete information and information that they understand. And also we want to increase the solidarity between groups and people who maintain, but also people who use services, because we think that solidarity is important when it comes to repression, to leaks, when it comes to defending ourselves and our community. We also think that to have such a checklist is good for compatibility, for connecting different projects, and to ensuring secure communication between projects, for example, for mails. Also, we think that to have such a checklist, as with all checklists, it's providing more security just because people can be aware, and after they think that they have done everything, they can check if something is missing from their setup.
So how do we get there? Well, we started by defining a set of standards that are easily understood by both sysadmins and users. And we provided some, or we want to provide some examples for best practice, like how do I set up my servers so that they are privacy enhanced, secure, and things like this. And we want to provide a modular system which can be adapted to the needs of different organizations, not just hosting providers, but also other providers of internet services. Products can announce and advertise their adherence to the policy. So everybody who takes part in it can say, hey, we're doing this, and we have like this privacy enhanced policy, and they can use it as kind of advertisement or to actually increase the trust to their users.
So we call it Providers' Commitment for Privacy. And you can see on all slides the website address, and you can read the whole document there. And please,
1 minute, extend time.
So please contribute to the best practices document. Please make suggestions for the next version. And please contact us on the address that you find on the website. And basically, this was what we wanted to give as a lightning talk. We can give you more information soon. Because now we have, I guess we have around 30 minutes, right? We have around 30 minutes in the room?
Closer to 15 for a break.
Okay,
yeah.
So we have around 15 minutes?
Well, actually, we've got 5.
Come on, come on.
Okay, so that's the end of your presentation, and now you've got 15 minutes for your workshop, but the lightning talks are now over, and they're going to have, because of the last talk, they get the opportunity to do a workshop. Thank you so much for coming. We've got Pecha Kucha coming up on day 2, and the final round of lightning talks tomorrow. So thank you again. A huge round of applause for all the lightning talks and for the upcoming workshop.
Thank you.
Thank you.